Hi, my name is Kay Thomas again. I'm the training director here with Kidman Care. And in this segment, I want to talk a little bit about family care. Now, this isn't the main focus of our business. Kidman Care is really focused on churches and ministries who need help. But on occasion, there may be a family within a church that really connects with you and they would like some in home care. And so that is a possibility. You may find yourself being requested and sent to a home. And so I wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about what that looks like. We follow all of our best practices. And so we want you to walk to the front door and remember on time is 5 to 10 minutes early. So you've used your GPS, you've spent a little time figuring out where you're headed, how long it will take to get there so that you can arrive early and be on time. So that's just a given. When you get to the front door, we want you to use your best interpersonal skills, right? Smile on your face. Always make sure you have your notebook, you have your shirt. You greet them with a handshake. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to the children. Maybe even get down on their level to say hello, and then enter the home. Make sure that you are careful about things like maybe even you take off your shoes, or if they have you wipe your feet. Uh, don't track in, that kind of thing. And always, remember when you're going to someone's home, you want to take really good care of it. You want to leave that home better than you found it. You want to care for those children uh, the way the parents want them cared for. You're focused. And so when you walk in, your phone gets put away. It's not something that you get on, put the kids in front of the TV and you're on your phone. Make sure that's true, and never it's never appropriate to bring someone with you. Have a friend come over to the family, a boyfriend. That's just not appropriate. Bring a pet with you because they have a dog, so you can bring your dog. Those kinds of things are just not appropriate. So when you go in, make sure you get the instructions from the parents. Anything they have to tell you, they're going to need to show you where things are. Give you an emergency phone number so that you can contact them in the case of an emergency. And you may have that situation. Talk that over with the parents. What would be considered an emergency? You know, if the child is a little sad when going to bed, is it okay to give you a call, or are they at a very important event that they can't be disturbed, or just what is the situation? And use your best judgment. But we want to make sure you have an emergency contact for the parent since you're in their home. And there may be a pet there. Make sure you take care of that pet as well. Let them out to go to the bathroom in the way that they usually do. Even if you think they can just run out and come back when called, maybe they know that their dog runs away, so you have to put them on a leash. Just make sure you get all the information and follow that. When you are with the children, you want to be ready to play, ready to engage. Play board games with them. You might need to be helping with homework. Make sure they're getting something done and that kind of thing. Check with parents about the best practices. Usually parents tell their children to be on their best behavior. There may be some discipline issues. And remember, again, at Kidman Care, we never hit a child. So time out may be appropriate. Talking to them, maybe you need to phone mom and dad if things really escalate. But usually things can be handled by distraction. Get them focused on something else. Siblings might fight, but you can handle that by separating them, engaging them in a game or reading a story, those kinds of activities. That's what we want to do. And usually when you engage with kids, they're ready to go and you don't have a problem like that. If you need to put children to bed, make sure you follow their bedtime routine, whatever that might be, with little ones changing diapers and then disposing of the diapers in the proper way. Some parents want you to tie up diapers in a little bag and throw them away. Some have a diaper genie or something. So just make sure you take note of what their procedure is and you follow that procedure. Dirty clothes in the hamper. Before bedtime, clothes and toys should all be picked up. So enlist the kids to help you to put the toys away, the books back on the shelf, the toys in the toy basket, whatever you want, to not just jumble everything in, but put things back the way that you found them. You want to use your best practices. And then after bedtime, if you have some homework and things like that, that's the time. It's totally appropriate for you to be able to do that. But again, please don't invite someone over even after the kids are in bed. That is not appropriate. But getting some of your homework done, reading, watching a movie, certainly you can do that. In the kitchen, just make sure that you put dirty dishes into the dishwasher. Don't leave them piled in the sink. They go in the dishwasher, or whatever parent has said. Rinse things out and off. Follow their instructions, and with sippy cups, put them in the dishwasher. But there might be some things, bottles, that don't go in the dishwasher. Maybe they have a soaking bucket, or on the sink. Just follow their instructions, but excuse me, make sure that things are cleaned up. Crumbs are wiped off. Leftovers are put in the refrigerator if you've needed to feed the kids, and those kinds of things, so that everything's cleaned up when they come home. So just make sure that you're following all those practices. Oh, maybe you're there during nap, and you want to make sure when they get up from a nap time to make up the bed, put things back, and that kind of thing. It depends on whether they're daytime or an evening, but you want to follow those best practices. If you have had towels and they're wet, make sure wet towels are hanging up, and washcloths, dishcloths are wrung out and draped over the sink. We don't want to leave piles of wet towels or cloths around, so make sure that you're following that. Too, if it's a rainy night and you had to let the dog out, make sure that you wipe his paws as he comes back in the door, or if there are any paw prints or footprints, you just take a moment to get a paper towel and wipe those up. Clean up after yourself. That's the name of the game. You want to make sure that you're keeping things, you want to keep the children safe, you want to keep them engaged, but also to keep things tidy when they're all finished. There may be a situation where there's a part-time placement, and if that were the case, things would be discussed ahead of time, but they may ask for you to do things like the children's laundry, or to load and unload the dishwasher, or organize the playroom. But those things would be discussed ahead of time. If you're in there just for a short term, or an evening, an afternoon, a day, you're there to care for the kids, engage them, take care of them in the best way that you can, and then clean things up and put things back the way that you found them. And I do know that sometimes when you come into a home, there may be chaos. Mom and Dad were trying to figure out how to get ready, get dressed, and things are kind of crazy. So you may need to leave it better than you found it. You may have come in and there are toys scattered and there are dishes scattered, but please, that you can enlist the children to help you to put things back where they were found, to put dishes into the dishwasher, to put things away and tidy up, so when they come home, things are settled and peaceful. So that's our hope and our goal. Anyway, and when the time comes at the end, make sure they sign your book, and then you've kept an activity log. We want to talk about that. Just take a moment to write down the things you did, and then talk to the parents about that. We played Monopoly, we ate the pizza and cleaned up, whatever. You want to make sure you're telling them what you've done, and the ways that you've engaged the kids. So hopefully it won't be, you left, I turned on the TV, and I had a big party. That would not be good. So don't do that. But go over the parents, the activity log, things that you did, that you read books. You don't have to be extremely detailed, but detailed enough so the parents, they want to know what happened, and how you engaged their kids. That makes them feel comfortable with you, and maybe to have you come again to sit with their kids. So take a moment to go through that log and just talk about the things that you did, and then have them sign your timesheet, and just check and make sure the end time is correct. You may have been scheduled for a certain amount of time. Perhaps they were a little bit later. So make sure you have an accurate time on your timesheet when they sign it. And then make sure to say goodbye to the client and the children if they're still awake. Make sure you say goodbye by name, and Tell them you had a fun time with them. So it's just really important to spend that moment at the very end to kind of report. Now, if there were some things to handle that you felt were serious enough, let the parent know. They were really fighting, but brother and sister were fighting, but we separated, or we decided to play a game. We took a timeout to take a deep breath and calm down. It's okay to say those kinds of things. If things were generally handled though by you and they calmed down quickly, there's not a need to report all the terrible things they did and the things they fought about. You want it to be a very positive experience and for the kids to be able to trust you. So you want to share enough of the fun things that you've done. You want to share some of the things that maybe you had to attend to, that you needed to focus on. So make sure you let them know those things. But you want to generally be very positive in your feedback with families. It's always appropriate to be gracious, to be kind about the home and about the children and their behavior. So I hope that helps you to know what it would be like to step into a family, be a great babysitter. I'm certain that most of you have had lots of experience with this type of situation, with babysitting in a home, and are very familiar. But just in case, I wanted to make sure you introduce yourself. That's just our Kidmin Care way of doing things, and smiling, that you engage from the moment you come in. You're there to be with those kids and to care for them and to play with them and to have fun. And then that you bring things back to the way you found them or better, so that when parents come home, there's peace instead of chaos. All right. I hope this has been helpful to you as you care for a family, as you're a part of the Kidmin Care team. Thanks.